Blog Talk Radio.
Peace to the ancestors. Yes. Peace to Dr. Cornel West. Yes. Peace to the movement. Yes. We came from the bottom. Ever since they got us, we've been going through these problems. 400 years behind and it's no promise that we gon' never actually be equal, to be honest. It's messed up how they put us in chains, kidnapped our language and changed our names. But when we speak Ebonics, then they call it a shame. They leave us with a couple options, rob or slang, now we locked up again. How much can our skin take? We went from slaves to inmates, carrying the weight of the 50 states. Working your forms, black nannies carrying white babies in their arms. Black men sacrifice their lives in your wars, but you don't never show appreciation here at home. You treat us so damn wrong, you act like you hate my race. The police, they just beat us in the streets like an 808 bass. America, when will you defend my case? You never will, cause your freedom is fake. I'm only living here cause I wanna get paid enough to round up all my family and shake. Get up, 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 get up.
They done tore down all the PJs in my barrio. Gang units for worst case scenarios. Might work till a couple of quirks. Can't call it pancake cause your ports and syrup. It's a whole lot bigger than a pretty new house, especially when the rodent's still running about. P. Diddy running marathons, races though. That's going to the school where the tax money go. Homeland Security, now there's a phenomenon. Pacifying folks by hanging Saddam. Troops still riding, still obliging, still no Bin Laden. Tuned in waiting for the president's announcements. No 40 acres, take these 40 ounces. We ain't gon' get on the levees. Revolution televised early. Is you ready?
Why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name.
Steady being forced to climb and shit, had your back, have you be done lost your mind. Especially when you done been down for so much time. Getting up don't even really ever cross your mind. You got pawn shop, gun shop, liquor store sign, SWAT team, crack fiend, unemployed line. Stay late, dollar short, trying to buy time. What we do to survive is defined as a life of crime. You can't ball, then you force to grind. If you fall, then you cross the line. And I've been putting in work from 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. Since phone calls cost a dime. What it made me is one of the relevant, highly intelligent brothers, not only dealing with the same drug selling. If I'm a hustler, then what's more American? We all founded on the same thug heritage.
Why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name.
America, 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 you know the black freedom movement, constitution, moral conscience. You know we've been trying to redeem the soul of the nation, even as that nation is trying to render us soulless. But we're our soulful people, the blues people. We've been keeping alive the bloodstained banner of democracy. Thank God for those who came before. We shall never forget them and always move forward with grace and dignity.
America, why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name, America. Why you
are the same. I'm gonna fall down on my knees and call on Jesus' name. Now here to testify how he brought me through. What God did for me will do the same for you. Yes, he did, without a doubt. Gave me the victory. The Lord has made a way. Made a way. Yes, he did. Oh, yes, I made it through the storm. There was a time when my life was very hard. Found myself locked out in the cold.
Peace to the ancestors. Yes. Peace to Dr. Cornel West. Yes. Peace to the movement. Yes. We came from the bottom. Ever since they got us, we've been going through these problems. 400 years behind, and it's no promise that we gon' never actually be equal, to be honest. It's messed up how they put us in chains, kidnapped our language and changed our names. But when we speak Ebonics, then they call it a shame. They leave us with a couple options: rob us, slang, now we locked up again. How much can our skin take? We went from slaves to inmates, carrying the weight of the 50 states. Working your forms, black nannies carrying white babies in their arms. Black men sacrifice their lives in your wars, but you don't never show appreciation here at home. You treat us so damn wrong. You act like you hate my race. The police, they just beat us in the streets like an 808 bass. America, when will you defend my case? You never will, cause your freedom is fake. I'm only living here cause I wanna get paid enough to round up on my family and shake.
Get up, 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 get up.
They done tore down all the PJs in my barrio. Gang units for worst case scenarios. Might work till a couple of quirks. Can't call it pancakes cause you pour some syrup. It's a whole lot bigger than a pretty new house, especially when the road is still running about. P. Diddy running marathons, racing dough. That's going to the school where the tax money go. Homeland Security, now there's a phenomenon. Pacifying folks by hanging Saddam. Troops still riding, still obliging, still no Bin Laden. Tuned in, waiting for the president's announcement. No 40 acres, take these 40 ounces. We ain't gonna get on the levees. Revolution televised early. Is you ready?
Why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name.
When you steady being forced to climb, the shit that had your back, have you be done lost your mind. Especially when you done been down for so much time. Getting up don't even really ever cross your mind. You got pawn shop, gun shop, liquor store sign, SWAT team, crack fiends, unemployed line. Stay late, dollar short, trying to buy time. What we do to survive is defined as a life of crime. You can't ball, then you forced to grind. If you fall, then you cross the line. And I've been putting in work from 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. Since phone calls cost a dime. What it made me is one of the relevant, highly intelligent brothers, not only dealing with that same drug selling. If I'm a hustler, then what's more American? We all founded on the same thug heritage.
Why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name.
America, 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 you know the black freedom movement, constitution, moral conscience. You know we've been trying to redeem the soul of the nation, even as that nation is trying to render us soulless. But we are our soulful people, the blues people. We've been keeping alive the bloodstained banner of democracy. Thank God for those who came before. We shall never forget them and always move forward with grace and dignity.
America, why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name, America.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight you tuned in to a very powerful, powerful show. We're just waiting for our host to come in tonight. You've tuned in to Dr. Lee's show tonight on how to get grants, capital, and funding tonight. Just waiting for our host to come in tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be going live tonight. My name is James Cannon. I'm excited, and I'm on deck, and I think our host is on deck and ready to go. Dr. Lee, are you in the house?
Yes, I am. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful. We're so excited. I turn everything over to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get in this conversation, hit 1 on your phone if you have any questions. We already have a lot of people in live tonight, and we have some powerful guests in tonight. Other than that, put your phone on mute, and we're going to have a great show. Dr.
Thank
Lee.
you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Cannon. I'm excited about being here tonight. I want to extend a hearty welcome and thank you to our listening audience. I'm really excited about what is happening, with this show and where we're going. Tonight, before we get started, we've got a great show lined up, but I want to ask Annetta Bryant-Jabari to come on in and tell us a little bit about the incredible 400 years. Annetta?
Yes, hi. How's everyone this evening? I am totally excited about this opportunity. Did I come in okay?
Coming good.
Yes, you did.
I'm fine. Awesome. Okay. Well, there's no better time than the present to be able to share good news, and I'm totally thrilled about the opportunity working with Mr. Cannon, Nick Cannon, and our team with the incredible 400 years to bring about awareness for our community, specifically those to emphasize the 400 years of African-American history. And James and Nick have given us an opportunity to assist him in writing a new history for our community, our people as a whole. So I'm real excited to be able to tie in all the different components that would allow us to bring awareness, education, excitement, and energy to share with one another. There's so many amazing aspects of our community that we aren't even exposed to. So this is just one of them. We're excited that Mr. Cannon, James Cannon, has been on a venture to do the radio component for many, many years, but he is now in a position to be the founder of a radio broadcasting school so that many can share their voice. And with the time that we're living in now, this is an absolute optimal time to be able to share and to be able to listen to your voices. So that's just one component of the incredible 400 years. You can go to our website because we're also seeking ambassadors to help us bring, again, awareness and information of all types across the spectrum. We all know that 400 years was not just a light year. We all experienced that through our culture in those that have come before us and our ancestors that have labored to give us this opportunity. So I'm grateful to be a part of this campaign. Again, you can go to www.incredible, and that's with an N. That's INCREDIBLE 400, that's 400 years with an S.com. Again, that's incredible400years.com. Go online, see some of it. We're updating it daily to be able to bring you more information. And as we're going, but go on, look and see if you would not be a perfect fit as an ambassador, because those ambassadors are bringing community awareness, which brings us to a component and an element that we're so honored with Dr. Lee to work with her NCI. That's the Neighborhood Commerce Institute. So as she's building entrepreneurs, which we are notorious, we have been able to create our own income and many, many facets of our daily life as well as around the world and globally. NCI has given us a platform to collaborate with them for the incredible 400 years. So we're pretty excited about that also. And so if you'll again go to www.incredible400years.com and you'll be able to tap in. Send us an email. Shoot us an email to info@Incredible400years if you want more information or if we can help to bring and support your endeavors throughout your particular entrepreneurial opportunity. Again, my name's Annetta Jabari, and I am looking forward to supporting, again, what we're doing here as one of the opportunities through the Incredible 400 Years with Dr. Lee, as well as working with Mr. Cannon, supporting him with his broadcasting school. So we're pretty excited. So everyone will get a voice, and everyone will be able to participate in writing a new history for the next 400 years. So everybody gets to participate. No excuse. We've all got something to offer, and we welcome that. So thank you so much, Mr. Cannon, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Tatum.
Thank you, Annetta, and everyone. And that's what we're here for everyone to contribute to realize your dream, to work towards what you want to work towards, your most our desires. Thank you, Annetta. Annetta is the National Executive Director of the Incredible 400 Years campaign, and I'm very proud to say that she's also the VP of Marketing Strategies for Neighborhood Commerce Institute International, and we're definitely looking forward to higher heights and deeper depth into our own callings in this country. Jason Williams is the Neighborhood Commerce Institute CEO. He's going to come to us right now and give us a little overview about Neighborhood Commerce Institute. Jason.
Hey, thank you for that. And thank you for everybody for participating and joining us tonight. On our love of panel guest people. I'm glad that everyone is engaging and participating. As Dr. Lee mentioned, I'm the CEO of Neighborhood Commerce Institute. Our mission is simply to help people succeed economically. Our goal is to pretty much go into underserved communities, our communities, and go in and launch powerful collaboratives and find ways to actually make these businesses thrive financially and make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of what their mission and what their goals are. What Neighborhood Commerce Institute will do, we'll provide direct technical assistance to any of the businesses that we engage with. We want to work with you on a personal level to make sure that you're fulfilling your vision for your organization and those surrounding communities. And when we're talking about engaging with these different businesses with you, we want to look to provide comprehensive plans to help you develop your services, develop your marketing plan, develop your 5 to 10 year strategy, and then we want to help you implement those things to your different communities and your different sectors. Like I said, we want to help you plan, and we want to help you with acquisitions, with partnerships, with sales, with marketing, everything that helps your business thrive on the back end. We want to be there with you step by step so you can really focus on your everyday business and, go out here and make this money. So check out the website. It's www.neighborhoodcommerceinstitute.com. Leave us some information. We want to make sure everybody enjoys tonight. Also, with the crowd, if you have some questions that you want to send in and you don't feel comfortable speaking online, just send us a text to phone number 984-244-0703. And that's 984-244-0703.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you very much. This show talk is all about providing information. We want to provide our listening audiences and family and friends with access to information that you ordinarily wouldn't receive, and also assistance. So that's what we're all about. We'd like for you, I want to ask you if you would get paper and pen about now. Tonight, we plan on providing you with a lot of information. and you do want to, have pen and paper handy to write down some of this information that would be helpful to you and your businesses and your organization. So get pen and paper ready as I endeavor to give you a lot of information. Also, I want you to be sure to write down the website. Some of the information that I'm going to give to you tonight you will need to get back in touch with me for more detailed information. And so you would do that through the www.neighborhoodcommerceinstitute.com. The site is under construction. It's being revamped, but the information page is there. The contact page is there. All you need to do is fill it out, put in your question or what more information that you would want into that form, and we will definitely get back to you. So again, I want to thank you, Mr. Cannon, Annetta, and Jason. You're so much appreciated. And to our listening family and friends, thank you again for joining us tonight. We're talking about how to get your business and organization grants, capital, and funding ready. So there is a technique, there's a system to everything in this world, and that doesn't change when it comes to getting grants and getting funding. We have a great lineup for our guests tonight. I'm pleased and honored to have on our panel guests two great people, professionals. We have Nick Hill III, who is a bottom line resource expert who has used his skills, experience, and vast knowledge to help many organizations grow from the Midwest to the West Coast. His in-depth knowledge in a wide array of fields and specialties has helped him to become one of the most sought-after consultants by various businesses and organizations in Bakersfield. Nick Hill is skilled in different niches, which include strategic planning and implementation, cost control, which is very, very important, and estimation, forecasting, team building, projects, skills, crisis, and account management, supervision, and just a lot more. He is the CEO and president of the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce, currently the project manager for the reconstruction of the Elk Lodge. I want to welcome Hill, and if you would come on now and just tell us a little bit more about yourself and the Chamber of Commerce briefly, and then we'll come back to you with more questions. Welcome, Nick Hill.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that introduction. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing well this evening during this COVID-19 and everything else that's going on. Just a quick rundown. With me, I have, I'd say, over 30 years of management. And my thing about management is it doesn't matter what arena you go in, management is all the same. And what I mean by that, if there's a thing called controllables and uncontrollables and other things like that. Your uncontrollables are, your PG&E, your rent, and all these things. All these things are uncontrollables. But your food costs, your labor, your maintenance, all these things are controllable. So I don't know if we'll get into some of these things like that tonight, but by me being a bottom line expert in a years, back in 1998, I decided that I wasn't going to work for anyone anymore, and so I've never looked back. So from 1998 till this day, I've been an entrepreneur. President and CEO, Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce. And our main goal at the Chamber has been to uplift the African American entrepreneur. And with that being said, we have opened several businesses in Kern County through the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce, and we watch these businesses thrive. But right now, we are in a situation where our main directive was to educate the African American small business owner in the area of system buildings and protocols and things like that, and it would help them become stronger engines in the community. But now we also have to use our power for outreach. But as the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce, what we're going to do is move toward a strong 2020 for our African American business owners. And we were in the first phase of a 4-phase plan to help build capacity in all sectors of business throughout Kern County. And that's what we're going to be focusing on, is getting people back in business after this COVID-19 is over. Should I continue?
Okay. Well, no, we can come back to you. I appreciate that introduction so very much. I do want to get into what the chamber, what the chamber does, and we'll come back to that. Thank you very much, Mr. Hill. Dr. Gregory Tatum. Thank you. Dr. Gregory Tatum, our co-host on the show, is today is our guest as well. He is a Baptist minister, pastor of Change Community Church of Bakersfield, California. Has been preaching the gospel for over 30 years. In his early years, Pastor Tatum hosted and produced his own local Christian cable television program called Christian Experience Ministry. He continues today with his community outreach, and we're going to be talking about that today and share with us some of his goals and aspirations and achievements. Dr. Tatum, would you share a little bit more about your ministry and yourself and what you're bringing to us today?
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lee, and thank you, Mr. Cannon, our Annetta, Mr. Hill out of Bakersfield. We work together on many projects. Basically, right now, Dr. Lee, I just came off of a few months ago being a part of the running for mayor in the city of Bakersfield. We have about 400,000 residents in the city of Bakersfield. Demographic-wise, there's about close to 7.5% to 8% African American. We have 55% Caucasian and about 34 to 35% Hispanic and about 6% Asian. So we don't have the large numbers when it comes to the demographics, but we have a lot of very intelligent, articulate people like Mr. Hill and others that are listening that are very strategic about how we will go about making the changes. I ran the first time in 2016 when we had 25 people running for the mayor of Bakersfield, and out of 25, I placed number 6. And we just got to focus on inclusion. And we, many of that are working here, along with Mr. Hill and others that are in leadership, they have a long history of not including and keeping black ideas and putting us in the forefront. It's like almost every little piece of the pie we have to fight for. And many of those that are in leadership, they don't seem to understand it, that we can represent ourselves better than anyone else can represent us. So we're here in Bakersfield. I've been here 10 years as a pastor of Change Community Church. It's to change the mindset of the community, whether it's people involved in various nefarious activities, whether it's drugs or gangs, but to change how we deal with each other as a people, how we raise our family.
this October. I've been married 42 years to my high school sweetheart. She was 17. I was 19. We have 3 kids and 9 grandkids. So we bring the family dynamic. We would like to show people, not just in Bakersfield, but across the nation, that is our strength, the black family. That is where we keep our ideas. That's what we focus on. I'm the family genealogist. I can go back 8 generations. So this 400 years of incredible 400 years is a great catalyst. It's a great platform to educate our kids across the nation about science, about music, about sports, all these barriers that kept us out in the mainstream. And we are so grateful that Mr. Cannon, Nick Cannon, being the ambassador, took on this responsibility. So my goal is to push that forward. And later on in the program, I'll be talking to you guys about some business entrepreneurial ideas with the product called Kieri. And we will have Seema Patel and Ray Nagel come on and explain the benefits health-wise and the benefits financially. But in the meantime, if you want to, you can kind of look at this on your own. As we come back, you want to go to Billionaire, BILLIONAIRE QUIARI.com. So billionaire.kieri.com. Check it out, and we'll get back to you. Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you, Dr. Tatum. And you're absolutely right. It starts with the charity starts at home. It starts with the black family, and then it spreads abroad. It spreads abroad into our neighborhoods, to our cities, to our states, and all across the country. And that's exactly what we're here to do, is to spread this gospel of success, entrepreneurial success. I've always believed that wherever people are, you begin where you are, that there isn't anything that is too difficult to achieve. If you can dream it, if you can see it, if you can visualize it, if you can desire it, it is achievable. I believe that whatever is on the inside of a person, that drive, that desire, that it is who you are, what you should be doing, and that is the thing that is going to bring you about the success, the financial prosperity that you want and that we are created for. It's not that we have to really earn it or deserve it in some sort of way, but we were created for success. And certain things come along the way that strips us of our ambition, of our inner self, our innermost being. And we know that the 400 years definitely, played the part and continually to play the primary part in hindering or blocking our achievements. But God has, I feel, brought us together, all of us who are here on the line, our team together to eradicate the negative beliefs, the disbeliefs, the doubt, and to take all of our abilities together as one, and to move these particular mountains that have been in our way. I mean, it's a decision. I believe it's a decision that each and every one of us to make within ourselves. We have to, bargain with ourselves and tell ourselves that, okay, this is inside of you. You're going to make it happen by whatever means necessary, and it will happen. And if we believe it, we can achieve it. And whatsoever we think, how a man thinketh, so is he or she. I mean, that's just how it is. If you believe a certain thing, that is the certain thing that is going to manifest itself in your life. And so the neighborhood commerce is about information. It's about access to capital. I want to come back to Mr. Hill, to Nick Hill, and talk a little bit more about the Chamber of Commerce. I basically got my start in the chamber. This is why I was so excited about, having you on tonight to explain to our to family and friends what the chamber is. The neighborhood commerce is actually a chamber of commerce, but it's our neighborhood chamber of commerce or our neighborhood commerce because we want to bring those services and right down into the local neighborhood so that ordinary people have access to this information, to the services that so many privileged people enjoy on a on a daily basis. So, Mr. Hill, could you come back and share with us about those services?
I most definitely can. Can you hear me okay? Good.
Yes, I can.
Some of the benefits of being a member of our chamber include, like, you get a certificate of membership, you get online access.
It's a membership organization, right?
Yes, a membership-based organization.
Okay.
We have.
Okay.
Yes, we have a student level, a personal level, a business level, a corporate level, and a government level. So anyone from a student all the way up to a large corporation can join our chamber. And right now we have, I think maybe 102 members in our chamber right now. And some of the benefits of it, we have constant contact. We have other ways of getting the word out in Kern County. And any one of our members, if they're having an event, if they're doing a workshop, things like that, and they want to get their event out, they can come to us. We will blast that event out for them, things like that. But the other things are, we have our mixers, where all our businesses come together. We network. We see how we can do some type of camaraderie and other things like that. We have event committees that set up different events and different workshops and annual events that we have that's going to help the African-American entrepreneur. But to expound on what you said earlier, Dr. Lee, when you said they stripped us, you are correct. You are absolutely correct. Because, number one, 95% of African-American businesses are sole proprietors. That means that one business owner is the only employee. And when they introduced Senate Bill 238, that was just a slap in the face to the African-American entrepreneur, because when they redefined the definition of an independent contractor, and by African Americans being 90% sole proprietors, that hit them harder than any other ethnic group here in the United States. So you also have to understand that minority-owned business receive lower loan amounts than non-minorities, and as a result are forced to leverage more of their own cash just to run their own business. African-American businesses have fewer employees, and average, like I said, the average business is the owner itself. So without capital, it's kind of tough for them to invest in the future. Now, we make up 7.6% of the population in Kern County, but we only own 2% of businesses here. But you have to understand that the black dollar is strong. The black dollar is extremely strong. We just don't put that black dollar together. Once we start putting that black dollar together, we will begin to turn heads. we will begin to have people take notice. But until we understand that concept and understand how truly powerful we are, not only in Kern County, but across the whole United States. You know, black businesses account for billions in the B's for the gross national product here in the United States. If we take that money away, they have to stand up and take notice to us. And what I mean by that is we've been used to going status quo for so long and just going with the flow and let everything continue to happen to us. And no one's really standing up to take notice. And what I mean by take notice is no one's coming together. We don't come together. And that's a main problem for the African-American neighborhood. It's always been like that. In order for us to go and get, like, if we go get certified, if we get SBE certified to do business with the state of California, or if we get DBE certified to do business with the federal government and all the utility companies and things like that, we have to understand that just because we're certified, I'm sorry, that's not enough. You have to be able to come together, form teaming agreements. I'm sorry, am I going too long?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, we have to come together. We have to start forming teaming agreements amongst each other in order to make our businesses bigger, stronger, and be able to compete in a local starting out market and then going to a global market. But until we learn that concept, we're always going to be stuck in the same old boat. And, I mean, black business owners, they have been unfairly turned down by banks when applying for small business loans. There's been a lack of economic and business resources in the African-American community. And I can name two of them right off the bat. If we look at SB1, SB1 is the transportation bill. Senator Bill introduced that bill. And so that's why you see all this work going up and down the whole freeway in California. And actually what they're doing is they are moving the entire freeway over. But when you look out there and you see people that's out there working, you don't see anyone that look like us.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Every time you go to the gas station and you fill up your car, you pay that tax. They're supposed to allocate $1.5 million every year to go into the disadvantaged and underserved businesses and neighborhoods and pull these people out, train them to make them employable, to make them have great careers. And this is already built into it. The other thing is the CBA. The CBA is the Community Benefits Agreement. The Community Benefits Agreement is supposed to do the exact same thing. It's come into the disadvantaged and underserved neighborhoods, pull people out, train them to work on these high-speed rail projects and things like that. You know, you've got your prime contractors that's there, but you also have the authority, which I happen to sit on, the Small Business Advisory Council in Sacramento for the California High-Speed Rail. Well, they're not doing enough. They are not doing enough. And what I mean by that, their definition of a small business or a disadvantaged business is if they make anywhere between $3 to $5 million. And
exactly.
Now, when they introduced Senate Bill 605, when they introduced Senate Bill 605, it increased the threshold from $5 million to $15 million. So everyone that does not have that generational wealth like us, and we do not have that generational wealth, okay, that means it's a slap in the face to us. We're left out in the cold. their definition of a small or disadvantaged business is not my definition of a small disadvantaged business. Their definition begins at $3 million. Okay, let's bring this down to like maybe $50,000. You know, to maybe get down in the ballpark where most African Americans, if they want to start a business or if they want to start doing business with the federal government, it's where they need to start. They did have set-asides. And with these set-asides were designed to go directly to this small disadvantaged business. The set-asides will start at $5,000, anywhere from $5,000 to $249,000. These set-aside, no-bid contracts were available for that very small business to use these funds to come up and bring their business up. They could not do any teaming or anything else with these because they were designed just for the small businesses. So they cut that out. They cut it out because there was no uproar. Okay.
Now, exactly.
To get certified.
Just jump in here, right here. Because there was no uproar. Because there was no uproar. So for the listening audience's sake, okay, when they define small businesses, that's $3 to $5 million. Now soon it's going to be $15 million. So
it's already 15.
It's $15 million, and so we know what this means in our Black community. This means that we're cut out. You know, this is a type of another form of redlining us out, and so this is where neighborhood commerce comes in at now. Now, would you be in agreement with me that these small businesses up to the $15 million, of course, are white businesses and other nations of businesses, but they're collaborators, the majority. Am I not right?
You're correct.
You're
correct.
That's right. They're collaborative, and this is what we're trying to get over into our community to understand that standing alone, we're just not going to make it, right?
That's correct. And the thing about it is, now, most African American businesses, don't want to team with another business because, well, they're worried about, well, maybe this business may get more business than me or something like that. But this is what you have to understand. When you're dealing with contracts on this level, it's enough. It's more than enough for everyone. More than enough for everyone. And that's the thing that we have to understand. But here's the other thing. They don't supply any outreach dollars. When I talked to Senator Shannon Grove, and she was telling me, and she told me, Nick, she said, listen, if the local organizations do not go after these funds are going to stay right up there with the fat cats, And this is Kate, and she told me this straight up out of her mouth. It's just going to stay right up there with the fat cats. And it's true. If we don't go after these funds that are available, these funds at SB1, ever since Senator Bill introduced SB1, these funds have been available every year.
Yes.
CBA, they took away the set-asides for the California high-speed rail. But if we need to make an impact, we need to make an impact on the SB level and the AB level. We can't go to different organizations and things like that or different businesses and say, oh, we want you to change this. No. Our senators, our assembly people are the ones that bring these laws up, the ones that say, okay, the threshold, we can increase the threshold of a definition of a disadvantaged business. Okay, so they can bring it down. But they're not going to bring it down by themselves. They need coaxing. They need us. They need us to say something about it, and we need to make some real noise. And we can't. And it can't be me. It can't be you. It can't be Dr. Tatum. or anyone else like that. It has to be everyone. And I don't really get belligerent or anything else like that. Yes.
Okay.
So that's not what I'm. Yes, that's not. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
So you're saying, I understand. So you're saying, okay, protest now for Neighborhood Commerce Institute. You know, I've been around here 40 plus years in this business arena. You know, dealing with the chambers of commerces and grants on both sides of the table. Been on the side of the evaluator, the one who makes the decision. I mean, sometimes been on jobs where when the proposal comes in, I'm the first person to take a look at it. If I didn't like the way it looked or was easy to read, I'd throw it out. I wouldn't even open up the cover. Does that happen sometimes? Great. That happens sometimes. And I've been on the other side, you know, writing, you know, the grants. But when you say protest,
no, not protest.
I know you didn't say protest, but you're saying, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying protest. You're saying, you said we have to stand up. We have to do something, and it takes all of us to do it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's what you said. I'm saying we have to protest what they're doing. And so all of us coming together, is that not a form of protest?
Yes, it is a form of protest, but I don't mean to protest in the normal sense.
I understand that, and I don't either. But I got it. Yes. So I understand what you're saying. And so, and I understand that you're not saying we get out here, walk the streets, hold the signs, and you know, and do all that. You're saying call your representative, call your senator, you know, make noise. Okay, I'm saying time out for making noise because it's not working. I've been watching this for all these years, and I'm not trying to, like, you know, be adversarial here at all. But what I'm saying
I understand.
Time, yeah. You know what? You know, I've dialed so many senators. I've dialed so many numbers. I've knocked on so many doors. You know, one year I posted my knuckles from knocking on so many doors where I had scarred my knuckle, bruised my knuckles, okay? So, you know, time out for begging. That's how I feel. I feel I knock on another door, call another senator, I'm begging because they're going to do whatever the heck they want to do. That's what they're going to do, and they continually to do it. So what I say, neighborhood commerce, do exactly what you're saying. We all come together. We all come together as a force, and we apply for these funds in an orderly fashion, you know, with the management that we need. Okay, why don't you, like, share with our audiences the different components that are required by these $3 to $5 million or $15 million organizations. How do they present themselves? What do they have? How are they organized? How are they structured? Their boards, you know, what type of people are they involved with? Can you, like, touch upon that for our audiences?
Of course. Yes, ma'am. And, you know, these are strong businesses that's been handed down in the good old boy network. You know, but as far as we're concerned, there's some things that they want to know. They want to know if you are an established business. Government contractors are required to meet all criteria necessary to do business, you know, within their region, which includes abiding by all regulatory and licensing requirements. If you do not have a business license, if you're not ready to sell to the government, and you do not have sufficient financial resources and cash flow to handle obligations as well as those that you would encounter under a government contract, insurance, and where required, surety bonding, and if essential, planning to do business with government agencies. You know, they were going to ask you, do you have a business plan that includes government contracting? You know, because small businesses need to properly align their business plan to address the specifics of the government market. So if you have a regular business plan, but it doesn't adhere to any of the government markets, you still have to go back to the drawing board. You know, and the other thing is, can you afford to sell to the government? It could take longer for you to receive payment for government work, sometimes up to 45 days or longer, you know, after the work is completed. You know, can you cover your overhead, you know, until that time? Some of the people, some of the subcontractors that's working on the high-speed rail, they're working on the Prompt Payment Act right now because, like, you get a contract, high-speed rail takes so long to pay these subcontractors, they have to go to a factoring company. When they go to a factoring company, they get this money from the factoring company to keep their business afloat until the federal government pays their money. By the time they get it and they have to pay the money back to the factoring company charges a percentage, which cuts directly into the profit of this small business, this independent contractor, and this subcontractor. So until they complete the Prompt Payment Act, you have to really be prepared to stay the course until you get your funds. Also, you know, does your company have a history of sales? You know, if you do not have an established business with a history of sales, you're not ready to sell to the government. You have to have done the necessary market research to determine the government's demands for your product or service. If you have met the above criteria, do the proper marketing, the analysis, and determine if the government buys or your products or services, or which is the purchase or the service, your item routinely, you have to consider to start with local agencies. You have to be willing to start at the, how would you say, 4th or 5th or 6th tier. And once you start down there and you work your way up and you get bigger contracts because you're going to be doing this gradually, and you grow up into the major contracts. So that's the other thing to consider. If you're a group and if you're still a small group, you have to start at a lower tier. And there's nothing wrong with starting at a lower tier, because if you prove yourself at this lower tier, that means you're going to get another contract that's going to be higher. But if you go into a high contract and you try to execute this contract and you're not ready to do this, number one, you're going to get egg on your face. You're going to lose the opportunity, and you might lose a lot of money in the process. You know, so you have to be prepared to do business with the federal government and the state. Yeah. So, you know, it's your company.
And local. Yeah, state and local. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And it's your company, e-commerce.
Right here. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I was just going to interject right here in that. So maybe these different tiers, levels. Now, would you agree with me? Now, this is Neighborhood Commerce Institute. NCI organizes and bring to the table organizations of various levels. Okay, so we will bring to the table into an opportunity, a corporation or business that has operated or functioned already at a national level, along with, you know, some of the collaborators may have just local experience, or you know, maybe that $50 to $100 or $200,000 level entrepreneur. But we bring them in as partners. This is exactly the way the Chinese people do, Japanese, whites, and every other nation of people. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what they do. But they bring it. They bring so and what I'm getting at is this: See, what I'm getting at is I understand that concept of starting little and working your way up. But see, I have to go back to Kemet. We're the ones who invented all of this stuff, okay? We're the ones who invented it. It came from us. Egyptians came in and learned the system and the process from us, okay? Then they turned us into slaves. Then, wiped out our memory. But we're still talented. We still have all the skills. So I don't believe in we got to start from the bottom. We're already at the bottom. What we have to do is organize and bring our talent and our skills together and go for those major multi-million-dollar contracts and grant proposals. Now, you're an expert in this. You see this every day. You're in Kern County. You're all over the state of California. Am I not correct that these organizations, these people, these businesses that get these multi-million-dollar opportunities have a myriad of organizations and businesses at different levels as partners, or engage them later after the contract?
They have to show that they're capable of doing the work and getting the work completed, that they're properly insured. They have to have there's something that you get in the very beginning that's called a capability statement.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to have
right.
Yes, you have to have a capability statement. This capability statement is going to identify you to any entity that you go up against. Because, like, if you're SBE or DBE, they're not going to recognize you by your name or anything else. If you have the SBA number or your DBE number, that's how you get identified. That's how they know the business that you have and how your business can work for them. But you are correct. You don't have to start at the bottom, but some businesses do. And we have to be realistic.
Yeah,
when I say start at the barrel, I don't mean start at the bottom of the barrel. I mean start locally, at the city level. See, I have two contracts right now with the county, and I have another contract with California Calls right now. So as far as contracting, you have to be able to execute these contracts, successfully in order to move bigger, to get into bigger contracts.
Yes,
so that's the only thing I'm saying is that
exactly.
When you are a business and you have 10 employees, you can't get a $5 million contract. That just does not make sense. No, that's not going to happen.
And this is where the collaborations come in. This is where the collaborations
yes, ma'am, the teaming agreements. Yeah, the teaming agreement. Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And
You're correct.
SBE, for those listening, that's Small Business Entity Certification, your Disabled Business Entity Certification, your Minority Business, and then they've got the Women in Business. We want to encourage our listeners, our families, and friends to understand that there is always a way. There's always a way. And Neighborhood Commerce Institute, a gospel is collaborating, coming together. You said it earlier, coming together. We all have to get together and make this thing here happen, and we can do it with management. So we want to turn to our family and friends on the line, to answer any questions. Press 1. We're going to ask if Annetta is still here. I'd like to check to see if you've got anything you want to add here or any questions. Annetta?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now, Dr. Lee?
Yes, I can.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I just wanted to make sure I was coming through. No, this has been so enlightening. And, again, I've also been an entrepreneur for so many years. This is information that so many of us in businesses don't know are the crucial part of success. So, no, I would just like to add being a part of, and again, leaving your information so that we can reach out and contact you so we can collaborate. I think that's been the missing link over the many years. So if you could do that, again, we'd love to hear from you at Incredible400years.com or through Neighborhood Commerce Institute. .com. So please, any one of those avenues will get you to us, and we will be happy to reach back out to you. So no, everything's going great. I don't think I can add much to all this information. It's just fantastic. So yeah, I'll just keep listening in, and thank you again.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Cannon. Ms. Cannon.
Yes, I appreciate you so much. I did have a couple of questions, one for Dr. Tatum and then for our guest as well. And to Dr. Tatum, I guess in looking at us coming together and looking at the Black Chamber of Commerce across the country, if a person wanted to establish a Black Chamber in their community and utilize that Black Chamber to work along with the Black churches, like with Dr. Tatum, what would be, if you were in a city that didn't have a Black Chamber, what would be the methods of chartering that chamber and then beginning to work along with the pastors in the city? And that was to our guest. And then to Dr. Tatum, I was curious because I know in looking at a lot of our people in our community, with us being divided, in so many different fractions, where not wanting to work together as a pastor, my question would come to Dr. Tatum would be, then how would he recommend more pastors working together with those in the communities, the Nation of Islam, the Israelites in the community, and those other components that's in the community that want to do business, that's a part of the Afro-American Negro family, but yet we find ourselves not working together. So I guess my first question again was to our guests in looking at how do one establish a chamber in their city, then secondly to Dr. Tatum.
Okay.
Mr. Hill?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Hill,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. In order to establish a successful chamber, you would go to a founder of a chamber. And you would pull his coattail and let him guide you, him or her, guide you every step of the way. And number one, he would sit down and do some evaluations to see if you're ready to take on such an endeavor. Because starting a chamber is not an easy thing. I was the president of this chamber back in 2013 to 2015. Then I came back again in 2019 after the president again. And it's been an uphill battle every time I came back, but I'm up for the challenge because I'm fully aware of how a chamber runs. But for someone, they would have to, number one, already have done their research, and reach out to those who have done there and been there before you, and take their advice. And if that's something that you can do within yourself and with a few more people that you have guiding with you, then I say by all means move forward with that. But you have to have a desire. You have to have the willpower. You have to know that this is not an 8-hour-a-day thing, So, and that's just like being an entrepreneur. It's not an 8-hour-a-day thing. So if you're prepared to bear down, do whatever it takes to succeed, then yes, you open that chamber. You start that chamber. And once you start a chamber, you're going to see all these different things open up for you, a lot of different avenues. You're going to have, like, a lot of collaborations and things like that, and a lot of people that's going to be coming up and helping you. So you won't be totally alone. But the first thing is to have the right mindset to start a chamber because it is not an easy endeavor.
And you're so very, very correct.
My other question would be looking at a Black chamber and running a Black chamber when we say black chamber, does that mean is that for the strengthening of the families of the Negro family, the Afro-American family? Is there a difference in who we market to? If we were to say like the Black Business Journal or the Negro Business Journal, it's kind of clear who we talking about if we say the Negro, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean because we have the Negro National Anthem, the Negro Business League, and a lot of strength was built in this country up under the Negro name. So looking at black chambers in our community, would it speak more directly to the people it needs to serve if it was called the Negro Chamber, Business Chamber?
Not necessarily, and let me tell you why. Because normally when we have our mixers, we have our galas and everything else like that, we're rubbing elbows with the community. Well, not with the community, but like with the upper business and the corporate communities and things like that. That's going to give us all these corporate funding and things like that. Well, I had my Black History Mixer in February. I chose to honor a regular individual and an SC, a social club, Fancy Ladies, and a young man, Wayne West. They've been in the neighborhood doing a children's Christmas program with their own money for 6 years. So when I have my Black History Mixer downtown in Bakersfield, that's who I honored. I went down into the neighborhood and I honored people, just regular people that were not even in our chamber. You know, because like if we miss our base, which is the low to mid-income African-American entrepreneur, you know, we're not doing a service. You know, if we're up here just rubbing elbows with the corporate people and we're forgetting about our basic people that keep our chambers strong and thriving. And if you forget about that, your chamber cannot succeed. It cannot succeed, you know, because you are supposed to help people along the way. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're making people aware. And you also have to understand that in the African-American community, a lot of businesses, there's not stability. We need stability. You know, without stability, we just cannot succeed. We cannot succeed. So, and you also have to.
Okay.
You also have to understand.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. You also have to understand that there's a lack of economic and business resources in the African American community, and that leads to a lack of education on how to properly start and manage a successful business. These are some of the things that we have to change. And our thing with Dr. Tatum, when he ran for mayor, well, we really don't want Dr. Tatum to run for mayor because the mayor is ceremonial. We want a policymaker. Dr. Tatum is poised to be a policymaker for us, you know. And if he gets a seat on the council, if he gets a seat on the county supervisor, okay, he's a policymaker now. We got somebody where we need him, you know. And so, and I can't stress us being at the table enough. We have to be there. And as Albert Stone, he's the president of the California Black Chamber. He said, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And it's just that simple. But 38% of black businesses are in healthcare, social assistance, repair and maintenance, personal and laundry services. Other categories include like advertising firms, auto dealerships, consulting, restaurants and beauty care, things like that, barbershop, salons. So most of these, like I said before, are independent contractors. We need to have some of our businesses incorporated, you know, and if we're incorporated, it takes them to a whole nother world, a whole different plateau. And we need to work on getting our African-American businesses incorporated. And the other thing that you said about the Negroes and things like that, well, even though we're the Black Chamber of Commerce, we have to stress the point that it's extremely important that other ethnic groups understand that they have to do business with the African American entrepreneur. And we don't say buy our services and our products because we're black. We say buy our products and services because of how good they are, not because we're black. No. So we want to serve all ethnic groups. In our black chamber, even though we are black chamber, the majority of our businesses are African American, but it's not 100%. So
right. Okay.
With that being said, it's extremely important that we do business with every ethnic group in America.
Okay, well, thank you so much. You want to go to Dr. Tatum to answer the latter part of Mr. Cannon's question, as well as we want to ask our family and friends listening to please press 1 on your phone in order to ask a question or make a comment. Boy, time is really flying, and I still got this information I got to give to you guys. So, Mr. Tatum, Dr. Tatum, I'm sorry. And Dr. Tatum, when you answer, could you just go on with your the rest of your information about your business and present your guests?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Thank Mr. Cannon for that question. And also my colleague, Mr. Nick Hill, outstanding man here in Bakersfield.
Yes.
He was asking about how do we get pastors to come together, particularly African-American pastors. We have to find a common goal. You got to remember when Martin Luther King was around, when he first got launched on the scene in the 50s, because of the Rosa Parks situation, the bus strike. It was something that the African Americans across the nation can identify with because they didn't own vehicles, and they were able to rally around. So now, fast forward 21st century, we're dealing with a situation with a pandemic that has no respect to a person or a nationality or culture, but yet even in that, African Americans are getting at least a less treatment. They're getting low quality treatment and being underserved. So we have to find something in the community. When I was running for mayor, and one time I was running for state senate as well in the city of Bakersfield, and I found out one of the persons I was running against, on their track record as an assembly person, this individual voted to have John Wayne's birthday become a holiday for California. And if you look up a background on Mr. Wayne, in 1971, he did an article for a certain news magazine where he felt that African Americans were inferior. He believed in white supremacy. He thought Native Americans should have suffered, and he didn't support Native Americans or African Americans. And that individual I was running against voted 2 times when that individual was the state assembly. And I brought this to the pastor's attention, and they said they knew this, but they still was going to support this individual. So it's very difficult to get a black pastor to look beyond the circumstances. Your circumstances are such so, as you guys were speaking out, you got to protest, you got to speak on it. If somebody's stepping on your foot, you got to say, ouch. And for so many years, over 400 years, they have been stepping on the feet of African Americans, and now we're saying, ouch. And it's been echoed across this nation, across the world. So, Mr. Cannon, find that common goal. What is happening? And they found one when Trayvon Martin was shot down, and unfortunate death of very different African Americans across the nation. When they came up with Black Lives Matters, people misconstrued that and took it out of context, saying that all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter, but in this particular case, we've been singled out, targeted, just like that young man that was jogging in Georgia, and because of the pressure of the masses and because of the technology of the 21st century, they arrested the father and son. But we have a mindset in the black church is that unless we're leading it, unless the drum major, and Martin Luther King talked about the drum major mentality, we don't want no part of it. A lot of people don't realize Martin Luther King had a lot of opposition from the black church. in the end, he had Catholics marching with him. He had Jewish people, entertainers that marched with him because he felt that it's going to take all demographics, all different religious and ideology of different visions and ideas to reach his goal. And his last campaign was the Poor People's Campaign. And I think what we have to do, Mr. Cannon, is find that core thing that's very important. And I think right now is that, and when this pandemic situation with COVID-19 is our lives, our future, our generation of our kids, our grandkids is important, and that's what we need to rally around. Segueing into my side venture, last year I was invited to speak as a public speaker in Chicago on the West Side. And if you've been watching the news for over the last 5 to 10 years, Chicago has been known as the most violent city in our nation. It's the third largest nation behind Los Angeles, where average year you will have 900 or more homicides, particularly of African American male on gang violence or drug violence, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people will say, oh, well, that's black on black crime, but also statistically it's white on white crime as far as the numbers are just as high, okay, but we're highlighted the most. So when I was there in November, I was introduced to a young lady by the name Seema Patel, and she was working as a global marketer dealing with a very healthy product called Gregory. The Gregory berry comes from Chile, has a very high content where it helps you with your inflammation in your bones, your clarity, and also they have a shake to help with weight loss. And she's going to tell you a little bit about the health part, and then following up behind her will be the beneficial part, Mr. Des Nagel. So if you're looking for Sima, she's going to be 312 area code, last four 7152, and she can articulate what I'm talking about. They're part of my presentation. Area code 312-7152 for Seema Patel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tatum. It is such a pleasure to be here on this call, and thank you for allowing me to talk about your distribution position with Carrie. First off, I want to welcome everyone to this call. It's an honor to speak here. The first time I spoke on the call, I was just flabbergasted at the amazing energy and humility of people and strength moving forward in entrepreneurship, talking about things that are really important to people and to culture as well as community. Now, Carrie has a mantra. It is love, try, and share. We're a community of people that are expanding health and wellness across the globe. And personally, I'm a project manager and consultant, and I'm super excited about working with people that really care about the health, well-being, and the financial stability of communities and individuals, because it ultimately starts with a person making a decision. And by you making a decision to partner with Dr. Tatum, you can impact not only your family, but your community and even a nation. So I want to welcome everyone to write down some information before I talk about, and I'd like to give you the specific website. I'd also like to have you write down a specific phone number that we've set up for this particular call, and everyone that would like personal attention so we can contact you individually, invite you to our meetings, really make sure that you get the information that you need, because this product is really, really changing lives. So the website for Dr. Tatum is billionaire.carrie.com. Let me spell that for everyone. It's BILLIONAIRE.Carrie, QUIARI.com. I'll say that again at the end of my talk here. Also, we've set up a particular phone number just for you, and that's a California area code 909-283-0055. Now, we've also set up an email address. I want to make sure I give that to everybody before I talk about this amazing product. And that email is changecommunity123@gmail.com. And if you missed any of that, feel free to just contact Dr. Tatum on social media, and he can get in touch with me to help you answer questions and partner with him. So let me tell you a little bit about is a health and wellness company, and we launched in October of 2019. Now, we launched in over 200 countries, and we already have 19 offices all over the world, particularly in Africa, which we're looking at really expanding very heavily, and we're in every continent there is. Not just that, but our CEO is based out in Tampa, Florida. He's almost a billionaire himself, and what's pretty cool is that he's had a technology company for about 13 years. This is his second company. And you can tell he cares about people, he cares about charities, he cares about international NGOs, and as a matter of fact, he gives back a lot. And his companies are really based on people and communities, and that's why I partnered with Carrie, and so has Minister Tatum, which he caught the vision of it. Now, today, I want to tell you a little bit about our products. Now, a little bit of a background of our product here is what we sell. Well, we sell 2 products, and we distribute it globally, and the company pays immediately. I said it, yeah. You get paid immediately. So we are a network marketing company. I know a lot of people just don't like the idea of working in network marketing, and if that's you, don't worry. We are direct selling, where you do get profit if you're looking to make money by direct selling and direct sharing. But we are considered a network marketing company working with a binary system, which I will introduce someone to explain that to you. But in terms of our company here, we've established it for you to be able to work as well as consume the product and really understand our brand, which is promoting a 90-day Kickstart Challenge. If you go to Dr. Tatum's website, you'll see the 90-day Kickstart Challenge, and there is an amazing 6-minute video which explains the opportunity as well as our product. If you're interested in learning more, I really encourage everybody to check out our official pages on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. They're just really amazing with testimonies. And as a matter of fact, our CEO makes himself available every Thursday for global announcements. Now, there is a doctor, and his name is Dr. Juan Hankey, and he's a scientist who was given a $5 million grant from the World Health Association. What's really spectacular about Dr.
Excuse me for one second. We are really, really getting limited in time, and so if we can kind of, we just want to kind of condense it because we've got still a lot more to go, a lot more information, and we want to give people time to call in as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. So let me give you the basic information on the product, and then I'll just go ahead and repeat the contact information for everybody. So Dr. Juan Hankey was given the $5 million grant from the World Health Association, and he's the world leading expert in maki berry. Our owner of our company bought our land for $50 million, and we own the distribution rights of this berry, which is the #1 superfruit in the world. We've created a special formula, and that formula is in our shake as well as our capsule. People are seeing dramatic changes in their health, their wellness, protecting their immune system, their circulatory system, and the combination of taking the shake as well as the capsule is really helping people. Now, Monday through Saturday, we do a special presentation at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time on Zoom. The meeting ID number is 312-312-7777, where I go over the product, the service, and exactly how you can work with the company, have the product, become a consumer. My mother, who's 75, who's taken the product, and she feels better. It's amazing. And again, the email address is changecommunity123@gmail.com. And what we're asking is for those who are interested in health, wellness, and working from home, and working internationally on a team, and really understanding really what this product is about, to please just contact us with one of the methods that we've given you. And that's pretty much it. I think so we're out of time here. So
Thank
I'm
you
not sure
so
if I
very
should give
much.
my
We appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Dr. Tatum.
Yes, thank you, Dr.
Hello?
Lee. I'm here, Dr. Lee.
Sorry about
Okay,
that. I really apologize.
Yeah.
I really apologize. I wanted to get some callers in and then more information. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dr. Tatum.
Yeah, I just wanted Dad to say something for about a minute. He's a millionaire. He's made 4 millionaires. He's in Virginia out there with you, Dr. Lee. So, Dad, are you on?
Okay.
Can you say something to hit 1?
Yes, I'm here, Dr. Tatum. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, tell them who you are.
Yes, we can.
Yes, it's a pleasure being here, and thank you so much for inviting me. This is the second time for me on this call, and I'm just learning so much. I'm glad to be here, learning all these information. It's a lot of them to grasp. My name is Desiree. I'm originally from Cameroon, West Africa. I've been living in the U.S. It's going almost 3 decades now, 5 kids, 2 grandkids. And I grew up in the same system as they taught us here. Go to school, have the highest diploma. When I got into this country, they told me that I have to work hard, took 2 full-time jobs, making $140,000 a year, but not sleeping in the house that I bought. Couldn't see my kid growing and couldn't even drive the car that I bought. And 10 years ago, I just decided that I had to shift all that things. So I put myself into relationship marketing that I was doing already, but on a part-time basis, and life just changed. And fast forward to this business, I've been working with the CEO of the company for the past 9 years, help 4 people to become millionaires, travel in 32 countries around the world. And, I'm not saying this to boast of myself or try to impress you guys. There's a lot of good and high-level people on this call. And it's just about bringing to our attention what we have our hands on here at this particular time. Every single time we learn in history that there's a crisis, there's always a good opportunity. And what we have here that Pastor Tatum is bringing to you guys is a way to bring health and wealth, the 2 most important things in human life. And for those who are here on this call and who are in the community of churches and all that, churches are hurting so bad now. And we have something here not only to help them, to be able to bring money to the church and build the house of God, which are certainly our most important things, but also to bring money into our household. And the opportunities here, these companies are opening it to the world. We as people say that, rich people build a network and poor people are looking for work. We have a chance here with all these people who are here, good people. Health, we have it here. Like I was saying, 52-year-old, I played soccer as a professional. I broke my leg twice. I couldn't go up the stairs. I couldn't actually sleep. I wake up, my knee aches. But taking the product, in just 60 days, I dropped 27 pounds. I just took the body that I had when I was 35. The best part of it is that now I have a business going in 200 countries that pays within 5 minutes. What you can make here is $2.4 million a year. So, guys, think about it. If you want more information, Dr. Tatum is there, and we're going to be here to help. And we want to take this to our own communities and to change life and to make people understand that what they sold us for years is not what it is. So we have a chance here to make a difference, not only to make people healthy, but to make them wealthy. Thank you so much, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Daz. And billionaire.carey.com, billionaire.carey.com. Dr. Lee, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tatum. I appreciate it so very much. It is a business opportunity. I want to get into more of the grant information tonight. So if you've got a pencil, a pen, and paper, let's see, where am I? Okay, so when we're talking about, we've covered a lot tonight, and I appreciate everybody. If there's anyone out there who has pressed 1 and not been acknowledged for your question, there is a phone number that you can text, just in case we're having any kind of technical issues. Do you tech team? Do you have any callers in queue? So text this number 984-244-0703. If you're in queue and have a question and not being acknowledged, it's 984-244-0703. Text your phone number. We want to hear from you, new callers. Thank you. And I apologize for having to, come in this way and interject, but we've only got 29 minutes left, and I want to talk about, what organizations and funders have established as criteria for getting grant funds. Organizations have our foundations, corporate givers, as well as community development programs have commitments. They receive monies from various different donors and other sources from the government, as well as local. But these donors or these givers, we're talking about receiving and giving money. So these givers or funds are set up by the donors, the sources where the money comes from. They have established certain criteria for receiving that money. And so
hey, Dr. Tatum, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, you have a question?
Dr. Lee, sorry to interrupt. We do have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, caller, you're live.
I just want to say, yes, I just would like to say that to Dr. Hill and to everyone that this is, I'm very impressed. This has been very informative to me. Now, the government contracts, it sounds like they're probably sound like it's for construction. That's what it sounded like to me. And I'm not too clear about what the young man the African. By the way, I was privileged to go to South Africa, and I did enjoy my trip there. But I wasn't too clear about something to make you healthy and wealthy. What product is it? I'm not understanding that.
Okay. If you would go, because our time is limited right now, I know Dr. Tatum has that information. Also, you can go to neighborhoodcommerceinstitute.com and leave this question, and then we will provide you that information. I would really appreciate that very much.
Okay.
So
I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so I want to get to ways or organizations right now that are giving away money is for COVID-19, which I feel is extremely important right now. We talked about earlier some of the eligible applicants for funding. Nonprofits and for-profits can receive money. And these are grant monies. Usually these grants have deadlines as well. But I'm just going to read out a few. If we have any more questions pertaining to grants, then we'll be happy to take those right now. But right now, as of May 12th, this is information that was released on May 12th, which was just yesterday. These are foundations that are requesting proposals for COVID-19 relief. These are new requests for proposals specifically for the COVID-19 outbreak. Okay, I don't know where you all are coming from. I'm just gonna name out some of these grants. You can write down the ones that you're interested in, and then you can go to neighborhoodcommerceinstitute.com, fill out that information form. In the comment, name the particular grant that you are interested in. Okay, Baltimore's Promise. The name of it is Baltimore's Promise. The COVID-19 Response Funding Collaborative of Greater Baltimore, in partnership with Baltimore's Promise, is accepting proposals for emergency COVID-19 grants. Nonprofit organizations in Maryland may apply for operational support if they work in the city of Baltimore or Baltimore County and Arundel County, Carroll County, or Hartford County. Grants will generally be up to $75,000. Applications will be reviewed on a rolling basis. All applications are due before May 29th. Okay? So if you want more information on Baltimore Promise, go to the website and just type in Baltimore's Promise. Okay, Borrelia's Philanthropy. That's Borealis, Philanthropy. Borrelia's Philanthropy Fund for Transgenerations, in partnership with Destination Tomorrow's Transcend Community Impact Fund and the Third Wave Fund, will make $1 million in grants through the COVID-19 Collective Fund for Trans Communities. The fund will prioritize trans-led organizations that support racial justice and intergenerational leadership to support transgender, non-conforming, and non-binary communities during the COVID-19 crisis. Organizations may request up to $10,000, but partnerships or coalitions can request up to $20,000. Grants will be awarded on a rolling basis until the fund is exhausted, and their fund is $1 million. That's Borrelia's Philanthropy. Center for Craft. Center for Craft. The Center for Craft Futures Fund will make unrestricted funds mean you can use it for anything. One-time grants of $5,000 to education projects throughout the United States that use crafts to boost community resilience during the pandemic. The fund will pay up to $30,000 in grants per month. Interested applicants must submit a letter of interest to be entered into a lottery to determine which 250 candidates may submit applications each month. For the May round, letters of interest, are due May 12th, and it just came out May 12th, and then the first of the month for each month round through. So that means that this can be letters of interest can go in each month by the first of the month. So June 1st, letters can go in for that one, and that's called Center for Craft. Next one is Deaconess Foundation, DEACONESS Foundation. The Deaconess Foundation will make a total of $2.2 million in grants through the COVID-19 Equitable Relief and Recovery Fund to support organizations with Black leaders in the St. Louis region. Organizations must work in social service or social change to address immediate needs such as food, housing, and income assistance. Grants will range from $5,000 to $50,000 each and will be awarded on a rolling basis until the fund is depleted. The Deaconess, DEACONESS Foundation. Grant Makers for Girls of Color. This is called Grant Makers for Girls of Color. Grant Makers for Girls of Color will give $1 million in grants through its Love is Healing COVID-19 Response Fund to resource organizations and projects that address the immediate needs for girls and non-binary youth of color during the pandemic. The fund will provide one-time grants of up to $25,000 to nonprofit organizations and coalitions led by women or girls of color. Grants will be awarded on a rolling basis from May through November. That's grant makers for girls of color. Greater Milwaukee Foundation. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation is making $3.2 million in grants through the MKE Responses Fund to nonprofit groups working to address housing and shelter, medical support, mental health, and education in the region. Applications for emergency needs are due May 15th. Groups whose operations or fundraising have been interrupted during the pandemic can alternatively choose to apply for its general operating support grant through May 22. That's Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Spencer Foundation, SPENCER Foundation. The Spencer Foundation's COVID-19 related research grants will support research projects that contribute to understanding the rapid shifts in education that are happening as a result of the pandemic. The foundation will award grants worth up to $50,000 each for projects ranging from 1 to 3 years. Applications will be reviewed on a rolling basis over several grant cycles. The next two deadlines are May 18th and June 8th. Okay. On May 4th, we also had proposals for COVID-19 relief from Blue and You Foundation. The Blue and You Foundation will award a total of $1.7 million through its Rapid Response COVID Relief Grants Program to address food insecurity in Arkansas. That's Blue and You Foundation. Nonprofit organizations may request grants from $5,000 to $150,000. Applications will be reviewed on a weekly basis until the fund is exhausted. That's called Blue and You, BLUE and You. Booz Allen Foundation, that's BOOZALLEN Foundation, has created an innovation fund that will make $1 million in grants to nonprofit groups, entrepreneurs, startups, and small businesses that are developing solutions to improve COVID-19 relief efforts. Nonprofit organizations may apply for grants up to $100,000 of specific interest areas to help protect vulnerable communities, support frontline workers, or enable people to safely return to work. Applications are due June 5. Okay. Community Foundation of North Florida. The Community Foundation of North Florida will make a total of $325,000 in grants supported by the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation to address the COVID-19 outbreak in the Tallahassee area. Grants will offer short-term and long-term relief for local nonprofit groups working in the arts, journalism, and community development. Community Foundation of Western North Carolina. It's called the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina. It's awarding grants through its COVID-19 Emergency and Disaster Response Fund to human services organizations in the region. The first 5 grant cycles awarded grants worth up to $10,000 each. Grants will continue to be awarded on a rolling basis. Landmarks, Illinois. Landmarks, Illinois is accepting applications for COVID-19 organization relief grants to aid nonprofit groups in Illinois. A total of 13 grants worth $2,000 each will provide unrestricted funding for operating costs. Eligible organizations must have a budget under $1 million or fewer than 7 full-time employees. Applications are due May 15th. Open Road Alliance. It's called the Open Road Alliance. It's making grants to charitable groups that are directly responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. Organizations may be based anywhere, but must demonstrate that they are playing a clear and direct role in flattening the curve to mitigate the economic, health, and social effects of the pandemic. Grants are worth up to $100,000 each. That's the Open Road Alliance. Vermont Arts Council and Vermont Humanities. The Vermont Arts Council and Vermont Humanities are partnering on the Vermont COVID-19 Cultural Relief Grant Program, which will make grants to support arts and cultural groups in the state. Applicants must demonstrate financial hardship as a result of the pandemic, including the risk of permanent closure, loss of revenue, loss of paid staff, or loss of venue or workspace. Applications are due May 31. Zilber, Zilber Family Foundation will grant a total of $3 million in emergency funding to support non-profit organizations in Milwaukee and Hawaii as they respond to COVID-19. Organizations are invited to apply for operating support grants worth $25,000 or one-time emergency response grants up to $100,000 each. Grants will be awarded on a rolling basis. There's a Better Chicago. A Better Chicago is accepting grant applications for projects and programs that provide financial assistance to low-income youth and families in Chicago that are experiencing significant hardship because of the pandemic, with a specific focus on Black and Latino youth in the city. Grants will range from $20,000 to $100,000 over 3 to 6 months. Organizations should be located in Cook County, Page County, Kane County, Lake County, McHenry County, and Will County. That's called A Better Chicago. ABVIE. The ABVIE COVID-19 Community Resilience Fund will award $5 million in grants to organizations that are working to support healthcare systems and increase community resilience in poor areas during the COVID-19 pandemic. Grants are worth up to $1 million each in financial support. That's called ABBVIE. AKONADI, a Konadi Foundation, has allocated $1 million from its endowment for rapid response grants to organizations and projects in Oakland, California. They are led by color and serve people in the front lines that responded to community needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Grants of $10,000 for general operating support are available. Priority will to organizations with budgets under $500,000 and groups that advance the leadership of women, trans, queer, and non-binary communities, immigrant and undocumented communities, and formerly or currently incarcerated people and their families. Grants will be awarded on a rolling basis and will be distributed in 2 cycles, with $500,000 dispersed between April and June and $500,000 dispersed between July and September. Bread and Roses Community Fund. Bread and Roses Community Fund. The Solidarity Fund for COVID-19 organizing is providing emergency grants up to $10,000 each to grassroots community organizing groups in the Philadelphia area. Eligible organizations must be located in Philadelphia, Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, or Camden County, and have plans for organizing social change campaigns. Then, let's see, we're running out of time. The Community Foundation of the New River Valley. That's the Community Foundation of the New River Valley is offering unrestricted grants through the COVID-19 Response Grant Program. Organizations that serve people in Virginia's New River Valley may apply for grants worth up to $2,000 each. Then there's the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance, the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance, in partnership with the City of Philadelphia's Office of Arts, Culture, and the Creative Economy, and the Philadelphia Cultural Fund will make at least $3 million in grants through the COVID-19 Arts APHL Fund to support artists and art organizations in the Philadelphia region. Small arts and culture organizations must have annual budgets under $250,000, and mid-sized organizations with budgets of $250,000 to $15 million. There's that $15 million. May apply for grants to support the operations during the COVID-19 pandemic. And there are quite a few more. We've got 9 minutes left here. Are there any questions on the line, tech people? I'll keep on going. Greater Washington Community Foundation. The Greater Washington Community Foundation has accepted requests for grants for the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund to support emergency preparedness and response efforts in Maryland, Northern Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Proposals should focus on addressing lost wages, providing relief for small businesses and gig economy workers, expanding access to medical services, and supporting people experiencing homelessness, among other needs. Grants will cover a 12-week period and are expected to be worth between $10,000 and $100,000 each. The deadline is rolling, and applications will be reviewed weekly. The Green Bay Packers COVID-19 Community Relief Fund will make $500,000 in grants to nonprofits in the Milwaukee area. That is the Green Bay Packers. We've got 8 minutes. Homegrown will make at least $1.2 million in grants to nonprofit organizations that provide emergency support for in-home care, child care centers, in particular those that care for children of essential workers. Grants will be worth up to $100,000 each to purchase cleaning supplies and services, make up for lost wages and income, and provide paid leave for workers. The fund anticipates making between 10 and 15 grants, which will be awarded on a rolling basis. Maddie's Fund, $1 million in grants to help animal shelters. That's called the Maddie's Fund. Novartis, the Novartis U.S. Foundation will award grants worth between $100,000 and $250,000 each to nonprofit groups through the Community Response Fund. So, and priority will go to nonprofits in California, Illinois, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and North Carolina. Up to $5 million will be paid out this year through the fund. You'll notice one thing that is a thread that's running through all these particular grants is that they're called the COVID-19 Response and Impact Fund. Now, these types of grants are in every community, but they're not published. They're not published where any and everyone can have access to. And that's the purpose of our being here. That's the purpose of Dr. MaryLee Live, is to get information to you that you would not ordinarily get, and then provide you the organization and the structure and the support that you need in order to be able to qualify for various different types of funding. I want to again extend my sincere thanks to our listening audience, to Mr. Cannon, to Dr. Tatum, to Mr. Hill. You have brought so much to this show tonight, to this discussion tonight, and I can't express how much I appreciate you all. Annetta, all of you, you've just been great. You've been wonderful. I thank you. And I want to ask you, are there any questions? Please press 1 on your phone. We have 5 minutes, and we can answer a question or two. Mr. Cannon, will you come back with some remarks, please?
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We did I think had a couple of people that may have some questions on the line. I think you had area code 919, last four numbers 7071. You're back live. You have a question tonight. Guess not. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate this. This was an outstanding sharing tonight and everything we were sharing. So you said, Dr. Lee, we can find these type of grants in all of our communities across the country, and we just have to go there and look particularly up under the COVID virus. What are some of the keywords we might want to be looking for?
It's called the U.S. COVID-19 Community Response Fund, and anyone can go to our our web pages and leave their information, and we'll get this information to them. So they don't have to search for it or anything. Can just call our information number, the number that I provided earlier. Jason, if you're on the line, would you please provide that phone number again where people can call? They can call the Incredible 400 Years number. We can ask Annetta to give that phone number again. So Annetta and Jason, if you want to give those phone numbers again where people can contact us about, they're called COVID-19 Response and Impact Fund, and they're being administered throughout this country. Annetta, you want to give us the phone number?
Go ahead, that was Jason.
I'm here. I think that was Jason. Go ahead, Jason. You can go ahead.
Okay. If anyone has a question, they can text 984-244-0703. And that's 984-244-0703.
Thank you.
And Jason, thank you for that. And just to keep from cutting down on those that may have come in late in the program, it's been outstanding. Thank you, Dr. Lee. The grant information is more. It went above and beyond. The number Jason just provided you, I think if we can send the text messages to that number, Jason, if you would repeat that, if you've got a question for the Incredible 400 or for NCI, we have partnered on a magnificent level. So, Jason, give that number just a couple more times so that those won't be confused. They can go directly, send your text messages, and he can direct it over to me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That phone number is 984-244-0703, 984-244-07. Any questions you have, feel free to text that number. Send your email, send your questions, send your name, send your phone number, and we'll be sure to make sure we get in contact with you.
Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate all of you. I do want to extend my apologies for the rushing hour tonight and having to cut some of the comments shorter. Again, I want to say thank you to our guest, Mr. Hill. Thank you, Dr. Tatum. Thank you, Annetta. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Cannon. And I love you all, and thank you to my family and friends who are out there listening and making this hour possible for us all. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you, and we want you to be safe. We want you to be safe out there amongst this COVID-19 season. Mr. Kennedy, do you have any last remarks? We've got about 20 seconds, sir.
Beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. It's been outstanding. We want everybody's voice to go live every opportunity. If you got a show that you want to do, reach out to Dr. Tatum. If you want to go live, we want to help you do that. Ladies and gentlemen, keep praying, keep believing in God. And listen, we're going to get through this. Come back next week. Dr. Lee, outstanding.
Thank you so very much.
Peace to the ancestors. Yes. Peace to Dr. Cornel West. Yes. Peace to the movement. Yes. We came from the bottom. Ever since they got us, we've been going through these problems. 400 years behind, and it's no promise that we gon' never actually be equal, to be honest. It's messed up how they put us in chains, kidnapped our language and changed our names. But when we speak Ebonics, then they call it a shame. They leave us with a couple options: rob us, slang, now we locked up again. How much can our skin take? We went from slaves to inmates, carrying the weight of the 50 states. Working your forms, black nannies carrying white babies in their arms. Black men sacrifice their lives in your wars, but you don't never show appreciation here at home. You treat us so damn wrong. You act like you hate my race. The police, they just beat us in the streets like an 808 bass. America, when will you defend my case? You never will, cause your freedom is fake. I'm only living here cause I wanna get paid enough to round up all my family and shake.
Get up, 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 get up.
They done tore down all the PJs in my barrio. Gang units for worst case scenarios. Might work till a couple of quirks. Can't call it pancakes cause you pour some syrup. It's a whole lot bigger than a pretty new house, especially when the rodent's still running about. P. Diddy running marathons, races though. That's going to the school where the tax money go. Homeland Security, now there's a phenomenon. Pacifying folks by hanging Saddam. Troops still riding, still obliging, still no Bin Laden. Tuned in, waiting for the president's announcement. No 40 acres, take these 40 ounces. We ain't gonna get on the levees. Revolution televised early. Is you ready?
Why you wanna treat me so cold, America? I done gave you all that I own, America. Took me from my mama so young, America. Locked me up and gave me your name.
When you steady being forced to climb, instead of have your back, have you be done lost your mind. Especially when you done been down for so much time. Getting up don't even really ever cross your mind. You got pawn shop, gun shop, liquor store sign, SWAT team, crack fiends, unemployed line. Stay late, dollar short, trying to buy time. What we do to survive is defined as a life of crime. You can't ball, then you forced to grind. If you fall, then you cross the line. And I've been putting in work from 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. Since phone calls cost a dime. What it made me is one of the relevant.